All right, let's do a tag. This tag was created by Miranda over at Incredibly Deadly Viper, who is super cool, and you should check her out. I will link her down in the box. And it is the top 5 books you read in high school tag. Hers is actually the top 15 books that she read in high school, but when she was doing the video, she was like, do it however you like. Do top 10 or top 5, or if you're still in high school, just like top 5 books you read in high school so far, or whatever you want. I was originally planning to just like rank all of the books that I read in high school from worst to best, but I filmed that yesterday and I started editing it and it sucked. There was just like a huge chunk of books in the middle that I just had almost nothing to say about. So instead I'm doing top 5. I'm not counting any books that I read where I got a choice, because like even if you have to pick off a list, that's still a choice and it's not really the same thing. I left off the stuff I read for drama class because this list is already ridiculously play heavy, and you will probably notice a lot of the usual suspects missing from my list, not because I didn't like them, but because I did not read them in high school. My high school English curriculum was super weird, you guys. We didn't read To Kill a Mockingbird or The Catcher in the Rye or anything by Austen or Dickens or Twain, but we sure did read Beowulf, which is good. I mean, it didn't make the list, but I liked it. But still, that's weird. I'd also like to point out that these are not the best books that I read in high school. They're just my personal favorites. All right, let's get to the list. At number 5, The Crucible by Arthur Miller. Salem, witchcraft, you know the deal. So with this one, the thing that everybody tends to focus on is the allegory for McCarthyism. And the allegory is great and obviously important, but I think the thing that people don't talk about in regards to The Crucible is that even if you don't know about the allegory, it's still totally effective. Like, it's still a great story, and it also still totally works as a narrative about panic and mob mentality. At number 4, we have The Oedipus Cycle by Sophocles. These are 3 classical Greek plays, Oedipus Rex, Oedipus at Colonus, and Antigone. And I'm counting them together because we just read them all one right after the other, so I just kind of think of them as one story. Oedipus Rex is the one that everybody knows. That's the one about the dude who bones his mom. You know. And I really like that one. It's very, like, satisfyingly brutal, I guess is how I would describe it. The second play is Oedipus at Colonus, where everybody who wasn't dead at the end of Oedipus Rex goes and hangs out in the woods for a while. No, seriously, that's what happens. Yeah, I actually could not remember what this one was about when I was making the list, so I had to go look it up on Wikipedia, and then I was like, oh, that's why I can't remember what happened. Nothing happened. You can skip this one if you want to, I won't tell anybody. And the third one is Antigone, which is all about Oedipus's daughter and her desire to give her brother a proper burial against the rest of her family's wishes. And Antigone is easily my favorite of the 3. It's not like a fun play to read, like at the end of it you're gonna just feel really, really awful, but like it's the good kind of awful. You know, it's like when you feel really bad and then you cry and then you feel better. Antigone is like that whole process. I don't know that I'm explaining this well at all, but it's really good. I am actually going to talk about the next 2 together, both because they were written by the same author and because I know I'm going to have to talk about why I ranked them the way that I did. So at number 3 is Hamlet, and number 2 is A Midsummer Night's Dream, both by William Shakespeare. So Hamlet is Hamlet. I kind of feel like I barely need to talk about it because no one is gonna refute the greatness of Hamlet. And I love Hamlet, I genuinely do. I think that it's great, and also I'm pretty sure it is objectively Shakespeare's best play. Like, I think you could make some compelling arguments for a couple of others, but ultimately, I think it's Hamlet. So Midsummer Night's Dream is not above Hamlet because I think it's a better play than Hamlet. I just personally like it more. It's just really fun. Also, A Midsummer Night's Dream was the first Shakespeare play that I read my freshman year of high school, and I think that was really good, actually. I feel like way fewer high school students would have terrible associations with Shakespeare if they got to start studying him with one of the comedies. And finally, at number 1 is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I feel like I talk about how much I love The Great Gatsby, like, all the time, so I'm gonna be brief here. But God, The Great Gatsby is just so good. It's not just my favorite book that I read in high school, it's one of my favorite books of all time. I have dismissed people's taste solely on the fact that they disliked The Great Gatsby. I just love it so much. The movie adaptation that's coming out soon is probably gonna blow. Why is it in 3D? I just don't understand. But that's okay, because the novel will always exist and always be perfect. So yes, those are my top 5 books I read in high school. I am not going to tag anybody specifically, but you should do it if you want to. That is it for me, and I will see you soon. Bye.